A call from Terry Courier, I'm sure, because that seems to be how this works when you're inducted. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about this? It's a huge honor.
Yeah, I feel tremendous honor and respect for all those who came before me. Time just flies by in our business, and in my mind, I'm still just getting my feet on the ground and barely hanging on. So I felt like I remember the last time Terry called me, he had some really weird good news for me. And he's just the kind of guy who calls independent artists and cares deeply. He's got his, he's not just glossing over what happens in his store. He really pays attention. So I knew that if Terry Courier was calling me, it was for a good reason, and or maybe something important had happened. So I don't know. I'm just really honored to be humbled, I guess. Yeah. And we put together a little all-star band of all of the inductees that were available to get together and play, and we worked out a couple songs. One of them we made about Terry. I don't want to give it away, but we took an old Paul Revere and the Raiders song and made it about Terry.
You're honored, obviously, to be here. What do you think is, you've got a lot of, you're a musician, you're a co-founder of a venue, you're an activist, you're a podcaster. If you can explain maybe how the culmination of all your work has led to this moment in your mind.
Well, I think I'm here because of work that happened a lot during COVID of helping to save venues. A small group of us just really, those of us who are fortunate enough to have like good business partners and who could like hold down the fort during the toughest times for our businesses, we were able to form an organization and go out and advocate for how important it is that people still have the ability to get together after COVID goes away. So we worked as a group to save venues, and we had a lot of help from local representatives, and in Washington, D.C., we did a federal bill. So I think I'm mostly here for that industry stuff, but it all ties together with me and being a composer and a folk musician for my whole life. In that I know about as well as anybody how important it is that people be able to get together and be in the same room like we are now, whether they agree or not, whether you're an Indiana fan or a Ducks fan. It doesn't, wherever your politics are, if people can actually have conversations and get together and see that there's a shared love and a shared interest, I think it's the greatest social cohesion that there is. So it's the same with folk music, and it's the same with rock. The mosh pit is a place where people are pretending to be frustrated with each other and acting out a type of wrinkle in the social cohesion, bashing into each other, and it's a beautiful thing. Crowd surfing literally is people upholding strangers above their heads who they might not know and passing them along, and music does that, and I think that's how it all ties together.
So when you think about all of the things you've done, and we're talking a couple decades at least, right? Maybe more. Okay.
Afraid to say.
All right. What stands out to you as you look back and then look forward too?
The thing that really stands out to me is things that I'm hoping happen, things that the kids can make happen. Youngsters, 12-year-olds, 8-year-olds, teenagers. I think about that all the time because I have 2 daughters. They're both into music. On their own path, they're way better musicians than I ever was. They're way more disciplined. And they're part of these incredible organizations, Metropolitan Youth Symphony, which has all this outreach and accessibility for people through music to become excellent human beings and solve the world's problems. So I've got a bunch of good memories that are wacky and cool, and some are embarrassing and some are just sort of fun to relive in my own head. But most of the time, I think the good times are still in front of us. I think we're going through a really tough, divisive time now. But I know that my daughters and their friends, who are a bunch of whack jobs just like we were, are going to have an opportunity to come up with new ways to do things. There's a thing tonight in this tribute song that we're doing for Terry, where I realized that I'm talking on a landline, a physical phone, and it's a dumb phone. There were no smartphones when this took place in the 90s. There was no internet. So, I just think of how much the world has changed. It's going to change that much more. So I'm very future-oriented. If I become past-oriented, I'll get lazy and bore myself to tears.
Your daughters are a good example of what's happening, I think, with young people, and that gets to music education, really.
Yeah.
And that is the whole mission of OMHOF. I mean, this event tonight, how they're helping out in schools. Talk to me about the importance of that, either for you or for your daughters and for the future.
Well, I've been heavily involved in music education for a long time, and I'm a big fan of some of the things that we have here in Portland that do that, like Metropolitan Youth Symphony, PYP, Bravo, My Voice Music, Friends of Noise. These are the organizations that are giving our kids these opportunities. And frankly, I didn't know that much about OMHOF. And when I got the call from Terry, I was deeply honored to be thought of as a person who is old enough and good enough to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But then I started reading about OMHOF and the scholarships, and I said, wow, that's really what this is all about. And that's what the song that we wrote for tonight is about why Terry is so driven to do what he does. He's not just selling wax. This is a great organization that has these scholarships for kids that normally wouldn't have opportunities to do that. And that's what it's all about.
Anything else you can think of that's relevant or important to this evening and being honored here?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about the Music Hall of Fame. Frankly, I'm super honored to be involved, but I know that one thing that it does is it gets people who are from different walks of life together. There are a bunch of people who are going to take that stage tonight that I've never done a gig with. I've never shared the stage with some of these cats. And we're in an extremely divisive time, and I think what we are going to do to get through it is to just fortify what we love and do what it is that we love doing the best, whether that's dressing up in an inflatable costume and going down to the ice facility, or shaking your fist in the air, or writing insurgent art essays, or in my case, trying to write a German opera, going way out of your depth. Tonight we'll see people getting together who may come from different walks of life, sharing the same space. It's a party with purpose. It's going to be fun.
Jim, I hope you don't mind me calling. You don't know me, but I work at a record store in Portland. I thought I'd call you because I wanted you to know that Peter Buck from REM just came in and bought your record. Whoa. Anyway, have a good day.
That is why we love some Terry. Who we love? Terry Cook.